All right, welcome to the Bourbon Show here at Family Wealth Planning Partners office. We're going to drink some bourbon today, and after the last couple of weeks that we've had in the market, we've earned it.
Yeah.
What better way to celebrate an official bear market as we entered into this week than to have a couple glasses to drown our sorrow, so to speak. So with that being said, we have an extremely good treat today. Chris over here picked up, secured a bottle of Colonel E.H. Taylor bourbon. So I will hand it on over to him to talk about where he picked it up at, how he got it, and maybe give the story behind it a little bit. It's been years since I've had it, so I've not had it in a really long time. I remember it being very good. I remember liking it quite a bit, but I couldn't really tell you taste profiles or anything like that. So I'm definitely excited to retry it again today.
Well, the E.H. Taylor is part of the allocated series that we've been doing. Yep. We've got one more to go after this that they offer at Buffalo Trace, which are people wait in line for long periods of time to get this stuff. Oh, yeah. So just to refresh everybody's memory, the allocated stuff just means that there's only a certain amount of it that they put out. Mm-hmm. And once it's gone, it's gone. And I even pulled up some stats to show how the inflation has gone up. We talked a lot about inflation in the markets, but it's going up in the bourbon world too for some of the same reasons, but it's also going up because these are becoming more and more famous. And we'll talk about those a little bit, but this was one of them. I got this one, several months ago. I've been waiting to open it, so we were doing this, but I got it up at the Buffalo Trace gift shop. I went up one day when I was not busy. There were a few people in line in front of me. It was a rainy day because nobody wants to go when it's rainy, and just walked in and bought a bottle of this. What I think is interesting about the E.H. Taylor, and of all the allocateds that we've done the Buffalo Trace and the Sazerac Rye, we've done the Weller Special Reserve, and we've done Eagle Rare. With the exception of Blanton's, this is the most expensive of them. And I would argue it's the best one of them, except for the Blanton's, and we're going to do that one next time. But what's neat about this one is it's the only one in the allocated series that's what we call a bottled in bond. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know anything about bottled in bond, and if Miss Producer, there's a picture of the actual strap that goes on over the top of the bottle. Bottled in bond is basically the first food safety law in the United States. I mean, people were packaging stuff that was killing people, literally, back in the 19th century. And the government said, okay, we're going to do a bottled in bond. It has to be a special warehouse. It all has to come out of one season. There's a bunch of rules. The one that most people remember is that it must be 100 proof, not 101, not 99. It's got to be 100. And it's got this little seal on it that I believe it's the U.S. Treasury is responsible for. And there's a great story when we do larceny.
We all love the U.S. Treasury, right?
We love the U.S. Treasury. You know, one of the most famous stories is his first name's John Fitzgerald. Was a Treasury agent who was responsible for bottled in bond, and he was actually stealing and then selling it himself. And Heaven Hill came out with a product called Larceny that's actually named after that. So I've got a bottle of that at home. We'll bring in and try the barrel proof. But that's what makes E.H. Taylor famous, is that bottled bond. It's also, this might be one of the coolest packaging that there is. I mean, there's several different versions. They all come in the cardboard tube, which is really neat. So you can, if you want to display these on a bar at home, super, super cool stuff. This one is the small batch. It's the easiest to get. The retail on this one is, let me see, I wrote it down. Retail is $43. But I did a little research on what you can really get it for.
Yes.
Right. So do you want to go into that now? We'll talk about the inflation on them.
Well, sure. Yeah, I was just more or less talking about from a supply side. I mean, you're not going to find that at retail anywhere without having to wait in a really long line after getting an advance notice. The only time that you're going to get this at retail is at the gift shop at Buffalo Trace, and you are going to go stand in line. Yeah. I was there yesterday because I happened to be in Frankfurt anyway. I got right into the building. The line wasn't bad outside. The line inside, I would say there were probably 300 people in line in front of me. Mm-hmm. It was, and if it had not been for the fact I was already there, there's no way I would have done it. Yeah. But just to give you an idea, kind of recapping the other ones that we've done, the low level, the Buffalo Trace itself is $27. Retail on that at a location, I picked a location in Lexington that is known for having this stuff in stock. Retail on that right now is, price is actually $45,
and that is up 50% in the last year. Right at that particular shop,
just
Buffalo Trace.
Wow.
And usually,
I don't usually buy that, so I had no clue it had gotten that expensive.
Yep.
And a lot of times you can it's limit one.
Yes, it's usually limit one. Okay, so the Buffalo Trace, all of the allocateds, you can't buy them but once every 3 months. Mm-hmm. So this one, for example, the E.H. Taylor, every 3 months you got a little tab and they scan it. And the Buffalo Trace, you're allowed one per day. So it is a limit,
right? But
it's one per day. But it's become super popular. If you get on some of the bourbon blogs and Facebook pages and stuff, it's amazing how badly people want this. I buy it when I go up to the gift shop because it's there, and it's a fantastic cocktail mixer. But I'm not a huge fan of it straight. Then where it gets really interesting, the Sazerac Rye that we did, which is the next step up, that one retails for $30. The current going rate is $90. Right,
for the Sazerac.
For the Sazerac Rye, it's $90.
Well, that's gone up just in the last 6 months.
Well, according to and this is Justin's in Lexington, is where I got my prices from. They have not gone up in the last 6 months on the Sazerac, so it's been $90 for a while.
Maybe not that.
I've seen it cheaper.
I
see it typically for about 70 or 80. Justin's is not the cheapest, but they always
have it in stock. Which, quite frankly, is the most important thing.
Exactly. So the Weller, the Special Reserve, the green label that we did, this just a huge one for me. Retail on that $30 for a $750 now. But what they're selling it for at Justin's is $100. Mm-hmm. That is up 11% since Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's even more than what the actual inflation rate is. The Eagle Rare that we did last time. That one is $34 retail. It's now selling at Justin's for $120. That's up 20% since Christmas, which is just insane. This particular one, the E.H. Taylor, the retail on it is $43, and what they're selling it for at Justin's is $200 for that bottle right there, and that's up 11% since Christmas. And then the Blanton's that we're going to do next time, which is the one that everybody is going cuckoo over. The retail on that is $63, and what they're selling it for there is $250. I remember buying Blanton's at Kroger's for $53, right? Because it was something you just always kept in the house. Now you can't get it. And by the way, they're up 11% on that one as well.
You tell us about Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare used to be my go-to.
Yeah.
Like, that was just my everyday drinker. I always had a bottle or two of Eagle Rare in my house because it was the best value you could get for under $30.
Yep.
$27 is what you said.
Exactly.
Now you can't find it.
But that's what all the different desires for all these bourbons are doing. It's becoming more and more popular. And finding this type of stuff in Kentucky is almost impossible because everybody here knows they want it. Where you hear about people being able to go out and just buy this at any time they want, believe it or not, it's in Australia. I've heard more from that than anything else, which makes no sense to me. In Japan, they're even more expensive than they are here. And they have special versions that are only shipped to Japan. Special labels and everything.
Really?
Because the profit margin in Japan is so high for these companies. They're making a killing over there.
No, so I did not know that. Learn something new every day.
Enough talking. Let's start drinking this.
Yep. Should we try them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff is so good. Now I'm watching for the shiver factor behind the camera.
It's warm.
It's warm, she says. Not bad. So that's an inexperienced bourbon drinker that likes it.
It sticks to your mouth, but nothing going down.
Nope, there's nothing down here, but I can still taste it. Yeah. It's still very much there. And it's honey, and it's sweet, and it's just, delightful was a great word to use.
Honey, yeah. I felt like I tasted
the honey.
Yeah, that's a good description.
I know we're supposed to put a cube of ice in this to try it both ways, but I really don't want to. It's just it's so good.
Certainly don't need to. I'll do it anyway, but
I'm going to do it anyway just to be consistent. But water it down a little bit.
definitely cuts it. You can definitely taste it. There's a big difference.
It cuts
to
down
me.
the nose quite a bit too. I mean, this had a really strong nose before I take a drink out of it.
I'll be honest with you. I typically drink it on the rocks, but I like this one better without. This one, at least on mine, I watered it down a little more.
You know what? That's actually, I don't remember the last time I put ice in this. That's actually pretty good. I think I like it better neat, but it's good. I'm picking up just a little bit more flavor. It kind of waters it down a little bit.
It waters it down. There is a little more flavor profile to it. I'm tasting less of the honey.
Yeah. But it's actually, you know what? That's really smooths it out. But there's still some burn cutting through that smoothness. That's.
See, I'm not getting hardly any burn now.
I'm not either.
Exactly. There's just a little bit, just around the sides of the mouth, but it's
Nothing
surprisingly good like that.
No, it's very good either way.
The flavor is still cutting through the water that's in there from that ice cube. That's good. I don't care how you drink that. That's good. Yeah. Please do not mix that with
You're leaving that one
Diet
in the
Coke
office,
or
right?
something.
You're not taking that one home, right?
Yeah, I might. Wow. Well, okay, full disclosure. Father's Day is coming up this weekend, and my wife and kids are taking me on a tour of Buffalo Trace for Father's Day. By the way, if you want to go on the tour up there, it's free. It's fantastic. I've been before. Don't just walk in. You will not get in. You have to make those reservations month to 6 weeks in advance. And I think we've talked about how to do that. But if this one happens to be in the store that day, I can't buy it because it's been less than 3 months, but my wife can. So if I pick up another bottle, I might leave.
Can each one of your sons buy one too?
Yeah, they're not quite old enough. So
Give them a
that
fake
would be
ID.
nice. Yeah. No, I can't pull that one off. I've tried.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So should we rate this?
Yeah, I think so. Ugh. Good. That's how I would rate it. It's just fantastic.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna put that at an 8. And I've got some stuff that I love, stuff that I consider, a permanent place on the bar at home that I've only rated at 8. This one stays on the bar. Not to mention, it looks super cool.
I go with a 7.5. It's not my favorite one that we've done, but it's very good. Yeah. So,
I like 8. I like 8. I mean, it's smooth. It's easy. What's the proof on that? I don't even remember.
It's 100 proof because it's
Oh, that's right. It's
yeah.
100 proof. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. Yeah. I mean, it's smooth. It goes down. Nothing in my throat. Nothing in my chest. It's just nice and smooth, which is dangerous.
Now, I would add to this at $43, which is the retail. Oh, I would buy this all day long.
Oh, it's a steal of $43.
At the 200 that we were talking about earlier, I'm not spending $200.
Nope, I agree with that.
It's really, really good.
Oh no,
it's not $200.
If you can find that at a restaurant or a bar, I mean, you're going to be paying $18 a pour.
Yeah. That's probably pretty accurate. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it's extremely hard to find these days. All the bourbon groups I'm a part of,
and remember, this is the small batch.
Yeah.
This is the most available of the types. There's a single barrel, which is out of this world good. The most infamous one, if you would, and we were talking about it earlier, is the Tornado version. That is a genuine unicorn. They had a tornado. I can't remember what year it was, but it ripped the roof off of the rick house where these bottles were stored. And it was about a year before they got it replaced. So it was exposed to direct sunlight. And it was exposed directly to the cold. Supposedly that stuff is fantastic, but if you could get your hands on a bottle, it's in the thousands. Last I heard it was around $5,000 a bottle, and that's been a while. And nobody wants to open it to drink it because it's such a collector's item.
Right.
So to me, bourbon is for drinking, not for collecting.
I agree with that.
But I would love to try that stuff. There's 5 or 6 different variations of this out there. So,
Well, any parting thoughts?
If you can get your hands on this close to retail, this should be a permanent place on most people's bars because, those of us who are more bourbon junkies really like this. When When we've had this at our bourbon night event here, it always goes over well. And yet you've still got the newbie bourbon drinker, Miss Producer back here says, yeah, that's really good. So this one's going to check all the boxes for most people.
Yep, I agree. I also agree with the point you made earlier that I'm not for $200 price point. That's not going to be my buy. But if you get closer to retail, I'd definitely put it on the bar.
I don't think I have a buy at $200. To be perfectly clear, it's just one of those things that's not important enough.
How good of a financial advisor would we be if we said, $200 a bottle of bourbon? Sure, no problem.
There are some that I would pay that for, but
they are truly rare. Though.
Yeah,
I can buy 4 or 5 bottles of something else really good.
Exactly
for $200 that I can drink every day. But yeah, no, this is a great one if you can find it. Pick it up or allow one of your buddies to pick it up.
Or get one of your buddies who is convenient to Frankfurt to go get it. That's right.
Well, all right. Any parting thoughts here?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen. Hopefully this makes the bear market go down a little bit easier that we're currently in. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching on whatever platform that you're using us to watch on. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button if you'd like to be notified whenever we drop new content on our YouTube channel. Please share with anybody that you think might be interested in anything we have to say, whether it's this podcast about bourbon or whether we're talking about money or finances on our regular Money Puzzle podcast. So thank you very much. We'll see you soon.